On TVC Breakfast, it's now time for us to look at what the papers are reporting. The Nation newspaper, President to team, take our scorecard to grassroots. Renewed hope ambassadors get a marching order to explain government's achievements. Next is this Nigeria newspaper. Police shake-up throws out IGP Egbetokun Tunji Disu in. President says sources, he was asked to resign. Controversial tenure ends after closed-door meeting with President. Mounting security challenges await new IGP. The Punch newspaper, Tinubu picks Disu for pre-2027 security boost. DIGs to retire. And Nigerian Tribune, Egbetokun resigns. Tunji Disu is acting IGP. 8 DIGs may go. The Leadership newspaper has the same headline. 8 DIGs likely to go as Tinubu appoints Disu acting IGP. While Egbetokun resigned, ACF, Tinubu's pattern of appointing Kisman not surprising, and CSO kicks against Disu, says 29 senior officers may leave. The Platform Times, major reshuffle looms as Disu assumes acting IGP role. 8 DIGs and AIGs poised to retire following IGP change. And the Blueprint newspaper looks at the oil industry. Oil price shocks. Pre-election spending may threaten $50.45 billion foreign reserves. That's according to CBN. Next is Nigerian News Direct. CBN eases grip on interest rates as CPPE urges enhanced monetary transmission. And the Business Nigeria, CBN cuts MPR to 26.5%, boost for growth, but lending relief will take time. That's according to analysts. Observer Times, Nigeria, Pakistan bolster defense alliance against terror. New pact focuses on technical assistance, joint training exercises and strategic instructor exchanges. And Chief of Army Staff General Shaibu prioritize high-level intelligence sharing and advanced defense technology. The Guardian newspaper, U.S. escalates pressure on Nigeria as AFRICOM firms up hub in Ghana. Talk about terrorism. And last but not least, Juventus versus Galatasaray. My knee is fine, says Osimhen. That's good news. Declares war on old lady. Thanks medical team for quick recovery. I'll be doing this with my colleagues, Etoma, Ria, and indeed Nelson Eta. All right, then let's get down to the brass tacks. If you look at the Nation newspaper, Etoma, President Tinubu said to the team, that's the Renewed Hope ambassadors, getting marching order, to explain the government's achievements, saying, take our scorecards to the grassroots, because there's a whole lot that the government has done. The present administration of Bola Ahmed Tinubu has done in terms of steadying the economy, the foreign exchange rates, stabilizing it, etc., etc. I say it is one thing for us to record these gains. It's another thing for that. What's that word? For you to do the mission, for you to share the message, with the people. Yes. I wanted to use the word administration. Yeah.
Okay. This takes me back to what I have always said when it comes to things like this. The way we package our messages matter a lot. And what the marching order Mr. President has given, it says take it to the grassroots. Let the grassroots know. How you tell the grassroots these things is different from how you tell the people in Lagos and other big cities.
That's right.
So it is not just something we need to do. It is something we need to do well. We need to do it well. And how do we do it well is package the messages in such a way that the average primary 3 student will understand. And once you get it done that way, it is easy for the grassroots to see. Yeah. And why it's also necessary is that most of the achievements that we are seeing are on the macro level. They have not trickled down now. So it is very necessary that the people there understand that, look, this administration has done a lot. We have to clear the debt from upstairs before we go downstairs. And that's what's happening.
So people that are going into evangelism, or the TVC, they have to evangelize, accurately in terms of talking about it. Because there is this student loan that was also granted. People like that, they are so excited because only the parents can tell what that thing has done to
the
them.
level of ease that has come financially.
Absolutely.
But if you ask me, Ibrahim, I'll say for the people that will go on evangelism, the ones that the president wants to pick,
we're evangelizing right now.
He needs to pick the right people. And I love the fact that he's highlighting grassroots, because that is where it begins. That is where it starts. Oftentimes, when we mention, things that the president has done, a lot of people do not even understand. I was talking to someone about, the kidney dialysis thing, the fact that he, reduced, the bills for dialysis. And somebody asked me, is this true? When? I'm like, how come you didn't hear about it? So a lot of good work. No, Ibrahim, no, the thing is that a lot of good work can be done. But if you don't have the right people to push out the work that you're doing, people will feel like you're not doing anything. Like the president or not like him, there are reforms that he has brought to Nigeria that is making our economy stable, making our economy better. But why are people not talking about it? Because they don't know about it. So what I want to say to the president and the presidency today is that the people they are appointing should be great evangelists. They should not just be people that, just want to speak. They should be people that are able to speak to the people in the grassroots for them to understand. Because quickly, Etoma, I can tell you about something and you don't understand. You just say, okay, there's a technique of somebody to speak to you for you to understand what the person is saying.
Yes, there is an organization right now that's called the Renewed Hope Grassroots Movement. That Renewed Hope Grassroots Movement has been using social media a whole lot, in packaging these stories as nuggets. There are little, small information like that, written and presented in a very simple fashion. And that's working. That's having a lot of effect.
Absolutely. So Nelson, it is one thing, as we've said, to say we've done this is another thing. If we have someone like Anna Bioje or something, who is the managing, is it the director of programs in World Bank? When she met the president, saying that Nigeria has now become a reference point or a reference country. Whenever I talk to any of the presidents of this world, I look at what Nigeria is doing. You've stabilized the economy. So if we get someone like that speaking positively of Nigeria or of Nigeria's economy, how much more those of us in it?
I hear us, on one hand, would advise the government to do more in communicating some of the achievement of the administration in these few years to the country. But on the other hand is that I'm trying to find a very kind word to express this. Nigerians are somewhat biased already. No matter how many wives he marries for everyone, no matter how many children he dashes you, no matter how many children how many houses he builds for you, there's already a positioned mindset and an approach to receiving any message that comes from the Tinubu-led administration somewhat. And so in between that lies a difficulty of buying into the trust of Nigerians. And that's why the government needs to put more effort in sending that message across, especially around sensitive issues that Nigerians are really yearning for. The government needs to find soft grounds of marrying everybody so it will be easier to buy that.
But Nelson, let me just say something quickly as well. I believe that as Nigerians, oftentimes, like the president or not like the president, but look at the reforms that he's doing. And that's why we are totally very biased and we demarcate our country a whole lot. Because even when something good is happening, you are still saying, oh, it cannot happen in Nigeria. If you are speaking negative about your country, how do you expect your country to grow?
Right.
So it starts with us as well.
If you like your country, it's about the country.
It's not about who is president or who is not.
The administration will go, another one will come in, but Nigeria will stay.
Exactly.
So you have to be a patriot to love your country, regardless of the government. All right, then let's move on to, if you look at this Nigerian newspaper, the same thing with the Punch newspaper, Nigerian Tribune, Leadership newspaper, Platform Times, all talking about the appointment of Tunji Disu. Tinubu picking Disu for pre-2027 security boost. DIG is to retire because they are still going to meet. He's still going to present him to the Senate, where the ratification will be done. And IGP Egbetokun summoned to Villa resigns over family issues. And one of the challenges here is the fact that they fear that Egbetokun, no, I think it's here. Presidency sources was asked to resign, and they said about 8 persons are likely to also go.
That's on platform
29 persons, 8 DIGs likely to go as Tinubu appoints Disu, and others also argue that it's going to be like 29 senior officers who may leave. One of these officers might be our friend who has been a friend of the media for a long time, Frank Yoba. might also be affected.
Oh yes, I even saw his name mentioned somewhere in connection with this.
Yeah.
When there is a shift, when there is a change of button at that top level,
Yeah.
That's right.
there's always an
effect.
overhaul. Yes, a ripple effect. There's always a ripple effect. This time, the newspapers are predicting 29 DIGs and AIGs. At the end of the day, it might be more than that. It might be more than that. Taking Disu's antecedents into consideration, he is a highly disciplined person. When he ran RRS here, nobody heard anything about that.
We just have to race on.
Yeah.
We just have to race on.
Go ahead.
All right, but just to quickly add to it, why are we surprised? Let's take you back to 2015 when Buhari came in and he was doing restructuring. A lot of people were affected. When you take the head, oftentimes it will touch other people. But for me, the most important thing is that the people that are going out, I don't have a problem with that. The people that are coming in are the ones I'm concerned,
absolutely.
about.
When you're called to serve, you serve diligently, you do your job, and then when you're called to maybe resign,
take a bow.
when the time comes, you should be happy that just make sure you've contributed positively to the growth of the nation.
That's right.
Now, so let's move on to the Blueprint newspaper. Oil price shocks. Pre-election spending may threaten $50.45 billion foreign reserves. That's according to CBN. So we know that election is here. Elections are actually here, rather. And then you start seeing people mopping up dollars, whatever it is that they want to do, and it affects our foreign reserves, affects the dollar. And I also understand that the CBN also, one way or the other, try to mop up the dollar because the naira is steadily appreciating against the dollar. And they are afraid that companies, investors might want to run away when they feel like, looks like the naira is, gaining more strength. And I felt we should be happy that the naira is up, but then I think it's
because that's one of the things that Elon Musk said yesterday, and we didn't have a lot of time to elaborate with him on that. And I was wondering, why would we be? My money is getting bigger. Why? The goal of investment and partnerships, as the case may be, is for the smaller guy in quote to become stronger. And if Nigeria, under the president's leadership, is helping the economy to bolster up, why would anybody be afraid to allow us to stand? Because at the end of the day, it favors everyone. So the CBN also has to be careful. I'm sure after their 3 or 4th committee, they had to consider a lot of things. On the macroeconomic conversations and monetary policies. Maybe that sounds nice to be done. But on a local impact level, no, we want our naira to be stronger so that I can still use 5 naira and buy something
and buy a whole lot
in the market.
Not say 5 naira, really.
She's telling me that I need to go liquidate this to go change my dollar in the bank. I said, better go quickly. I don't want to get you cry.
And for those people that save in dollars, sometimes, remember there was a time, I think last year, where the dollar really went and a lot of people lost it. So me, it's come see, I save in dollar, I save in naira, because you're never sure what will happen.
But it's good news. It's good news.
Yeah.
Well, all right, then let's move on to the Observer Times. Talking about Nigeria, Pakistan boast of defense alliance against terror. New pact focuses on technical assistance, joint training exercises, and strategic instructor exchanges. Then General Shaibu prioritized high-level intelligence sharing and advanced defense technology. So if you look at this, it's great news in the sense that, okay, let's move on to also the Guardian newspaper, but then we'll largely talk more on the Observer Times. Terrorism, US escalates pressure on Nigeria as African firms up hub in Ghana. On one hand, Nigeria is signing deals packed with not just China, not just Pakistan, with also Russia. And then US is coming to say, listen, you need to divest your investment or your relationship with China, with Russia, and start using our own equipment. And if you're not using it, it's one of the reasons we'll designate you as country of particular concern. This is Nigeria now the bride of the foreign powers. And if you look at Nigeria's strength on the global firepower rating, I think we are on 36. So you understand? So with that, is it 36 or 39 or thereabout? But we are still high up there, above Venezuela, above some other countries in Africa. So this is Nigeria. What exactly do you make of these headlines?
First things first, I like General Shaibu's stance, on the partnership with Pakistan. What we really need is intelligence gathering. And I like the fact that Nigeria is partnering with Pakistan on terrorism issues.
I think my producer should beam Observer Times, the paper before this particular one. Carry on.
Okay. Pakistan has dealt with terrorism a whole lot. It has been a problem long before it became a problem in Nigeria, in Pakistan. So they have experience that we need. And they also have technology that we need. However, the intelligence gathering that they have used over time, Nigeria needs that kind of assistance to win this war. Back home here, a lot of things have been done. The Minister for Defense has been changed. Now we have another police chief, and so on. And the soldiers on ground are taking it to the bad guys. I am so proud of the Nigerian army right now.
Do you know Pakistan, if you talk about Pakistan, Pakistan is a superpower in the sense that Pakistan has been bullied by Israel, the same thing with India, and they've had their days, with India. So much so that the US, Pakistan is standing in between them, and then they feel like if you want to attack Pakistan, we'll probably go to India and launch our attack, to Pakistan, against Pakistan. But Pakistan is saying, don't worry, we are ready. We'll have a one-way ticket fighter jet that will just come to your to your base and destroy you. Exactly. So this is a country we are partnering with in terms of intelligence integration, specialized combat training, educational exchange, and defense technology collaboration and joint coordination, joint operational coordination.
So, Ibrahim, of course, we know Pakistan is strong. And for me, I love this alliance with Pakistan because we cannot do it on our own. We need to understand that intelligence is what we need, collaborating with other countries that will help us fight terrorism and banditry in Nigeria. For me, the most important thing is to have a peaceful Nigeria. We don't want to wake up and be reporting bandits have taken people somewhere, bandits have kidnapped children in school. People need to go to church, save, pray to their God and leave. Children need to go to school and not feel like they will be kidnapped. So anything we can do together, any country that we can work with together to make sure that, we are fighting this terrorism in Nigeria, we should look forward to that country. But I'm happy that we're collaborating with Pakistan because I know they are no-nonsense people, and I feel like this, collaboration will be good for Nigeria.
And Nelson, talking about the Guardian newspaper, US, putting mounting pressure on Nigeria. They've sanctioned us, tagging us country of particular concern. They have also freezed, funding. Visa restrictions, remember some names that are also mentioned that they'll be getting visa bans, and military procurement. They're asking us to continuously buy ammunition from them. But it is this same US, when Scott Perry, one of the congressmen, mentioned that this aid that we're giving to countries like Nigeria were being used to fund Boko Haram and other terrorists. So you are like the arsonist that is positioning yourself as a firefighter.
Ibrahim, you made a statement earlier when you said Nigeria is now the bride.
Absolutely.
I've always said it on this table over and over again. Everybody knows Nigeria is the bride. And so everybody wants to find one way or the other to be part of what is happening in this country. That's why also when I'm trying to get to a point. When we have the strengthening of our economy, it begins to shake these guys because it's somewhat they don't want us to be men on our legs doing what we should do. They still want to have aid, help one way or the other. No, we can't continue like that. And so that's part of the achievement of this administration, raising Nigeria's ranking and respect in the international community. Now, this conversation on the Guardian newspaper, the US Senate are still sitting down again to still designate Nigeria that bad name. And they're saying that, in Nigeria, Christianity, you can't really practice and all that kind of stuff. Despite the partnership between Nigeria and the United States, we've seen, the entrance of their military personnel in the country, what they've done. Even the First Lady had to commend them. She even went there for their breakfast, And so after all of that, the Senate is still sitting down to have that kind of conversation. Why? Because somewhat political interest is also on the tone here, whereby the antagonist,
country of particular
putting pressure rather on us and calling us out for partnering with other countries. For God's sake, United States of America, if you can do what you can do to partner with Nigeria on a plain level ground, please do it. Let other countries who can also partner with us according to terms of diplomacy, let them come in and do it.
Because if you ask me, I'll say it's not a monopoly. We are not just hoping on one person. We're diverse. If this person can do it, we'll collaborate with the person. But then again, with the whole thing that the US was trying to send out, Christians are dying. For me, I've always said people are dying, and it's not about religion. Christians are dying, Muslims are dying. So it's definitely not about religion. But what we need is that intelligence. Let's collaborate. Let's work together and just crop out the security in Nigeria.
Talking about aid, Dambisa Moyo, who worked with the World Bank, from Zambia, and she said that aid that he wrote a book, Dead Aid, and that this aid that African countries are getting is also responsible for the underdevelopment of Africa, and say we should stop, collecting aid from these people.
Yeah.
So we have to bring this to an end because of our time. The Sporting Life, my knee is fine. Yeah, our knee.
Of course, our guy is
fine. But
We never want his knee to have any
At all,
issue.
at all.
His knee cannot have any issues.
That's about it for the newspapers up for review. Still to come, Nigeria's oil sector is facing a major reckoning. Can the Executive Order 9 finally end waste and enforce discipline